Hi everyone. What a great rehearsal last night was. There's a real excitement and vibe about the place last night. So for those of you who missed it, and for all of us as a bit of a reminder, I thought I'd just do this video about the sort of things we discussed and some of the decisions we've taken. So here we go. First thing was, we got a lot of great feedback from people about Harrogate and how much they enjoyed Harrogate. Clearly we know it was stressful and it was tiring, but I think everybody got a lot out of it. And some of the stories about people's reaction from the audience was pretty special, and it just reinforces how much of an impact we have on audiences when we sing at a level that we know we can. One of the things we were talking about last night was next year, the convention, which we now know is in Brighton. And the general feeling was we need to do something really special next year. We need to do a better performance than we did this year in Harrogate. We need to do a better performance than we did last year in Bournemouth. There are a lot of choruses improving all the time, and we've got to be doing something really special next year. In order to do that, we had a load of discussion, and the general feeling is we will all need to do more than we have individually done. And one of the things that we're really keen on excuse me, is for there to be more people at all the rehearsals that we have. We've proven time and time again that when we work as a complete chorus, or as complete a chorus as we can, the strides we make and the improvements we make in those rehearsals far outstrips those where we're trying to do it with half the chorus. We can work on all the nuances, the detail, the vowel sounds, the dynamics, all those little things which make our performance special and will make it even more special in the future. We know we've already made some changes, things like the way that we're learning songs. And the general feedback was people are loving that because it gives them the responsibility, and they're willing to take that responsibility on, which means we don't have to spend time on Tuesday night bashing the notes and learning the notes, and we can start to do other things. So we were talking last night, for instance, about now we don't have to be doing that note bashing on a Tuesday, taking some of those Tuesdays and going out into our communities, wherever that happens to be, not just Bolton, but within our catchment area, and singing in venues and pubs and whatever, as a way of being able to get greater visibility for the chorus and help with our recruitment. Because one of the targets we have, remember, is to get to 100 members. We're currently at 63, 64, around that level, which is a big improvement on what it was 18 months ago. But our target is still 100. So we know we've got the Come and Sing events, and they're really useful. We've got about 10 people who are signed up already for the next one on the 16th. But obviously we've still got another couple of weeks of promotion of that. We need everybody to publicise that, share posts, talk to their friends about it, talk to their work colleagues about it, whatever it happens to be, to get as many people interested in those events as we can. But also, it's the responsibility of every single person in the chorus to try and get more members on board. The right members, clearly, we're not just after numbers, but we need the right quality. But it's everybody's responsibility to try and do that. It would be wonderful if by the end of 2028, which is our target, we've hit our aim rather. It would be great that we've hit our 100 target by the end of that year. That would be spectacular. The other things we were talking about was next year's convention and how our members will need, what our members will need to do in order to be on that convention stage. So we talked about, I talked earlier that, you know, working when we are a full chorus makes a huge amount of difference. We've shown that at the away weekend, we've shown it at Sunday rehearsals. So we want to lay down some guidelines next year, a threshold effectively that members will need to be able to hit in order to be on the convention stage. And first of that is from the point at which we sing the new songs, which is going to be mid-November. Members will need to attend 75% of Tuesday night rehearsals. It's really important because the more people we have there, the better things we can do and the more we can work on. So 75% attendance of Tuesdays. We've got 6 Sunday rehearsals in the calendar. We need members to do at least 4 of those. Not just 4, but a minimum of 4. And our away weekend next year is going to be considered a mandatory event. The feeling is that the away weekends are equivalent to about 2 months worth of Tuesday night rehearsals, in the sense of the amount of work we can do and the strides that we can make over that weekend. So the away weekend will be a compulsory weekend. Now we know there will always be instances where some people can't make it. Illness, injury, family bereavement, family weddings, things that are completely unavoidable, and we get that. But if members are unable to hit these thresholds that we're putting in place, they will need to prove that they are competition stage ready. And that will mean submitting audio recordings, performance recordings, and more than likely performing in front of the chorus in quartet. We will be setting the bar high. We have to set the bar high because of what we expect from each other and what we'll need to do in order to smash it at next year's convention. So those are the key things that we talked about. The other thing, of course, is recordings. And we had discussion last night about recordings, and I don't think anybody likes doing the recordings and listening to themselves, but they are really, really useful. They're not something that we're saying, you've got to do this because the section leader says you've got to do it. We want everybody to embrace recordings, both vocal and performance, embrace them as a way of developing and learning and being able to be self-critical about your performances. And not just critical, actually praiseworthy as well. One of the things that came out, one of the recordings that I sent to James a few weeks ago, and I sent him a little critique of what I thought of the recording. He came back to me and said, all you've done is picked out negatives. You've not talked about all the positives. And I went, well, I suppose I haven't really, because I was just trying to figure out the areas that I can improve. But actually his feedback was, I'm probably not a bad singer after all, even though I hate listening to my recordings. So we want people to do more of that. Embrace people's feedback. Don't take it as a criticism. Take it as a way of being able to improve and develop. And all these little things that we need to do will make all the difference. There's not one magic bullet that we can fire that will suddenly give us another 4% or another 5% on a scoring basis. Obviously, we're not concentrated on scores. We're more concentrated on the impact that we have on audiences. But to translate that into something tangible, to get up another 4 or 5%, it's not massive, actually. It feels like a lot, but it will be lots of little things that will enable us to get there. And going back to what I was saying earlier, it's all about the nuances, those subtle dynamics, those vowel sounds, the way we turn the words at the end of phrases, all those little things which are really hard to learn and grasp from the recordings of any rehearsal that you might have missed. That's why we want to lay down these guidelines about the 75% rule on attendances on a Tuesday. Interestingly, We have implemented that before. Back in 2010 we did that. It was before my time, but a lot of the guys in the chorus were around at the time. And only one person out of 50 something failed to hit the 75% target. That person was not allowed on the convention stage, even though he had travelled to international in Philadelphia. He still was not allowed on the stage because he wasn't ready. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Cotton Town scored its highest ever score at the time. So we know that it works, and we need that additional commitment from people. The other thing about the away weekend is we've talked about certain reasons why people might not be there: bereavement, illness, injury, whatever it may be. There are certain things, however, that we don't really think are valid reasons as to why people do not attend the away weekend. So if your favourite football team's playing at home and you want to go to that instead, it's not really a valid reason. If you've got another chorus and you want to go to an event of theirs, I'm sorry, but the priority has to be Cotton Town. So we need people to bear that in mind as well. We're really excited about the next 12 months and what it holds. And we would absolutely love to come off that stage next year having completely and utterly wowed the chorus, wowed the audience, chorus as well actually, but wowed the audience to the point where they go, that was stunning. I've not heard anything as good as that for a while. Because actually, that's why we want to do it. If that translates into judges' scores as well that are better than we've ever scored before, then fantastic. So we need people, please, to be stepping up a bit, doing that little bit extra, and reaching the targets in terms of the thresholds for attendance. It's going to be a great year. I'm absolutely looking forward to it.